Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Willy and Fuego show, hosted by yours truly, Fuego.
And Willy.
Yes, sir, back, man. And today we want to talk about another show as well, a different show, but one that has also impacted the lives of many young black men as well, and also people of all cultures and races as well. And that show that we're talking about, obviously, is the Boondocks.
Yes,
Yeah,
very interesting series, but then also very funny in some way.
yeah. So like the show as a whole.
Mm.
Okay, let's talk about why we're talking about, it, right?
Uh, yeah, for me, the reason why we're talking about it is that it teaches us about maybe not being part of like if you black,
Yeah,
you shouldn't try to be the whites because that's mostly the show is all about.
yeah,
That a black family live in in a white neighborhood
with
eh,
white people.
with white people who
Yeah,
refuse to accept them.
yeah,
Yeah,
true. Like they go through, they are out of their way to try and please the white people and
exactly.
try and like to fit in
Mm,
when they don't realize that they don't need to fit in that specific community. They
exactly.
don't really need to be there,
Mm.
but they just want to be there.
But then out of my opinion, I don't know what they're going to find there. Like what Huey always said,
Mm.
that why are we here?
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no need for them to be there.
Exactly.
Grandpa is wasting money and his time and his old age
And
because he's gonna
resources.
yeah, and his resource because he's gonna die soon. Now he's putting himself through all this stress just to live in a mansion.
And how is the grandchildren going to love when he passes?
Exactly. Like
Mm.
what are they gonna be left with?
Exactly, because obviously the white men are going to come after the house,
Mm,
the car, and everything.
yeah,
Then where's the grandchildren going to live?
exactly. Like that's what he was also saying. Like you know the episode where he was like, I paid good money for this house. Now it ain't worth shit. He's
Exactly.
basically living there by force against his own will.
Mm.
Which for me I don't agree with.
Because it mostly sounds like that. It mostly sounds like now all like the shows that we watch, it mostly shows us the same thing that we always talk about.
Mm,
The government
yeah,
steals, and that's it. And mostly if you live in a white neighborhood and you black, obviously if those people find something strange in your house or something's going on, they're gonna call the cops.
mm.
Obviously.
And they're always gonna be suspicious of you because
Exactly.
you're black
You black. Exactly.
in a white community.
Mm.
But yeah, guys, like now that we've told you why we're gonna speak about it, let's go into Boondocks as like a show.
Mm.
So as a show, it starts off with they show us Grandpa and Huey
Huey
and
Riley.
Drag.
I don't know what's that guy's name, the janitor, the guy who's always around and he's talking.
Uncle Ruckus,
Yeah, Uncle Ruckus, and who else?
um, the lawyer guy,
Yeah, the lawyer guy, the daughter,
and
the
his
wife,
his family.
and then there's Stink Mina,
Yeah.
and then
But then Stingmina comes a bit early.
earlier, yeah,
Like in the beginning, it just shows them
yes,
because the Freemans are moving in to the
mm,
community and they're welcoming them.
yes,
And then they meet Uncle Ruckus and then they realize Uncle Ruckus is
a
a
crazy
black, racist, crazy guy.
guy, exactly.
Like, how can you hate your own people? Like,
I don't know because I don't understand. I can't hate on my own people
imagine, bro.
because with your own people you feel more comfortable.
That's how
But
it should be.
now, if you're going to now be pretend like being like, okay, no, my people are full of shit, and I want to be with the other people.
Yeah.
But then the other people don't like you.
Mm.
But then your people will accept you. But now you're trying to be somewhere where you're not supposed to be.
Bro. Like that's what I'm saying. It's just forcing it. And then even with this Uncle Ruckus,
Mm,
he's trying to not be black.
exactly.
So this whole show is about people trying to force something in their life, a certain aspect of their life,
Yeah,
and not really like work through it, but they're just trying to trot along with it and go along with it by force.
exactly. Because you still at the beginning of this franchise.
Nah, I think
Oh, you finished it.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah. But,
finished
even that episode where Uncle Ruckus explains, like, no, my father, whenever we played or
yeah.
whatnot, he would beat
Piss
us
him out
and whatnot.
because his mom lied to him and told him he has the skin disease. What
Exactly.
was it? I forgot his name. And then he was white and he turned black.
Like,
I was like, what kind of crap is that, bro? It's just lies. Like imagine.
even the way he, like, his skin turned black, me, I'm like, hi, there's no
There's
such.
no such thing. That's cap.
Because how can you be there and being like, oh, I'm turning black, and then there's just clump dots on you and stuff. That makes no sense, bruh.
Oh, and the fact that he believed it, bro, his whole life, he was like, I'm white,
I'm white
but then I'm just in a black man's body.
body,
Ah, that's fucked.
and he even coped with it too.
Like his whole life he was cool with it. So when his dad told him, he started crying. And said, he said I'm not white. I'm black.
Even the father is like, no, man, you black
Mm.
in a white man's body. No, am I correct?
No, he said you're black. Yeah, he
Yeah,
said
he's black,
you're black, and
but
you're not adopted because his mother told him that he's adopted. Yeah.
exactly. Then he's like, what? So it means I'm not black. And then I'm like, yeah, obviously we all knew
Mm.
because the way he was treating his fellow men, obviously we knew. There was some confusion, but we didn't know it was also due to the skin color.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Hey, bruh.
There's no other explanation for it because when Riley also, Riley has no filter for it.
Mm.
Riley just says whatever he says.
And then
And
he'll stick to what he
yes,
says.
so then he wants to tell him, he's like, nigga, you wait. And then Grandpa stopped him. And then he was like, look, we know how it feels to grow up in a household with an abusive parenting figure. Grandpa, like, don't talk about me.
No, don't talk about me, boy.
It just shows that a lot of families and a lot of households have also issues.
Exactly. Because no, there's no such thing as a family, a perfect
Yeah,
family.
and that's what the show shows us. Like even with Tom, the lawyer
Mm.
is Tom,
Yeah,
Tom's family, you see that his family is not perfect, even though they look perfect from the outside.
exactly.
You see, like with his wife, he has a white wife, he has a colored child. So like, so like people think, oh, he's got a good job, he's making money, he lives in this place. But then meanwhile, this guy is afraid of getting anally raped, bro.
Yeah, because in some episodes, he, like, even at one episode he was watching a TV show when he was young, and then it's like whatever puts you in jail, you shouldn't do it because he's even in the highway, he's driving, and then he's like, nigga, and then this guy, then he's telling this guy like, no, I do not want to go to jail and anally raped, and he's like, so what? Drive.
It's drive.
Exactly.
Like he was so afraid of everything,
Hey, bro.
every single little thing, bro. Like if anything could land him in trouble, he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to know about it. Anything. That's
Mm,
why he ended up being a lawyer
exactly.
because and then instead of being in jail, he's putting guys in jail
And yeah.
until he got guilty about it.
He was accused
Yeah.
of something.
Mm. And then he almost went to jail himself.
Yeah, then like, no, and then he called
Oh,
Riley,
yeah.
and then like, no, Riley, you. And then he's like, no, what's wrong? Then he's like, I'm in jail. I've been accused of it. It's like, I know, good luck, nigga. Good luck. Drop the phone.
It's like he's so afraid of it. It's like, bro, why do you let that control you and consume you? Like, I get it. Like, you don't want to be anally raped, right?
Oh,
But don't let it now become you.
exactly, because what Tom, it almost sounds like that's his personality. The present thing is his personality
Yeah.
to be like, yeah, whatever lands me in jail, I don't do it. Because even in one of the scenes, these other child boys would, when a cigarette comes and he's like, oh, you
Yeah.
wanna
Yeah,
smoke?
sure.
Then he's like, no, when you start smoking at school, you will also go to jail and you'll be anally raped. And then those boys were also like, huh? Like, what? Then they left.
It's sad. with his situation, it's like he ends up becoming a bitch nigga.
Exactly.
He ends up becoming a bitch nigga.
Because he does act strong,
Mm.
but then when jail just comes up,
Oh,
then
like
he's
like any situation that involves him getting hurt, going to jail, or almost dying, he bitches out same
yeah, he's
time.
like, "Eh,
Nope.
no, no, no."
It's like when he told his daughter not to watch Soul Train 2, and then they took grandpa to the cinema.
And then she was scared, and then she
Bro,
was
bro,
like,
it's
"Yeah,
like you can see that he's affected his kids also to
mm,
become like that, and his kids are just like him. They're
exactly."
scared of like being like
Hurt or any type of,
or getting in trouble. Like,
because even the episode where they Usher stole his gun, his wife,
ah, oh,
and then what? A pump called Slickback, yeah, and told him to say like, no, you must call your wife a
okay,
bitch, yeah,
yeah.
like, call
You
her a
must
bitch,
slap the bitch,
yeah.
nigga, bitch, nigga.
And then then that woman comes,
Mm,
says, yeah, do that shit what I told you to her,
mm.
and then she comes and she also start beating him up, and
Beating
it's
up,
like, what
and
the.
he's telling him, bro, slap the bitch, nigga. We didn't want to do it.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
want to. You could see he was
like,
panicking. He's like, huh? Are we supposed to hit girls like that? And
panicking,
then the woman starts, what? Beat him, bruh. And then she fought like a man.
bro. Like she whooped his ass,
Like,
like she was a man and he was a bitch.
exactly.
She
Oh, what
whooping
up?
his ass.
Hey, bruh.
So that's when I was like, Tom, bro, you need to grow up, hair bald, and he needs to be like really let go of his fear of his and
Mm,
actually take charge and control of his life as well.
because even in the series in general, you can see the ones that mostly go, or who's close to going to prison is Huey and Riley.
Yeah,
Mostly Riley, because Riley
yeah,
is
yeah.
gallivanting in the street and
And he's a
whatnot.
gangster. Young Reezy.
He's
Yeah.
like in these movies like Tupac and them, he's like them. Yeah.
But like he's on a different level. Riley takes the street shit to a whole different level.
Uh,
Yo,
Even when he started selling stuff, and then those that mafia came and told him
yeah,
like, no.
you need to stop.
Mm,
And then he's like, fuck you, fuck your shoes, fuck your socks, fuck your suck mouth teeth, fuck your faggot ass accent, fuck the queen, fuck Prince William, fuck the queen, fuck Guy Ritchie. This is America, nigga. My president is black and
like,
my Lambo is blue.
no. Yeah, right. And that guy got angry
Yo,
afterwards. Then everything broke out. Then he started panicking like, hey, guys, what do we do now? What do we do now? Even the episode where what was that guy's name, to say that they wanted to kill the rapper that Riley was with.
oh,
Where's your
Gangstalicious. Yeah, Gangstalicious. Oh, and he was crying. Like, you're a bitch, man. You're a fake. You're a phony.
then it's like, where's your gun? I dropped the gun. Like, you dropped the gun. Then it's like, I was scared, and he was oriented or something. Then it's like, yeah, we need to go and get it back. Then it's like, no, I left it already. I left it. And then he's like, how?
Could you leave behind the gun
And
and you call yourself a gangster?
exactly.
Like, even in that show, it also showed like the also other sides as well, like also with entertainment. You
Mm.
see with the rappers, they're not really gangster or anything. They're normal bitch niggas. And then also with the actors, also bitch niggas. BT, bitch niggas, everybody, bitch niggas, bro, just everywhere. When you're like, what?
Mm.
Ah, and it's true, bro.
Because we actually think like from our point of view, watching them on TV,
Yeah,
we're like, yeah, hey, they cool, they what,
ah,
they what. But as soon as we see them, maybe for example, if we actually had to meet one, and if he was actually in that situation, how were we going to see them after that? Also, there, I
I wouldn't
dropped the
take you
gun.
seriously.
I also dropped the gun.
I wouldn't take them seriously. I'd be like, fuck. But yeah, it's funny. They have funny episodes, funny stories, funny things. But since we've covered on few of the characters, right? Let's go deeper into the characters. Let's talk about guys like Stinkmeaner and
Uh, the bastard that made me not like him anymore.
yeah, the nigga moment.
Yeah, the nigga
Yeah, the
moment, bro.
nigga moment. Nah, and there is nigga moments in real life, bro.
Yeah,
You
Because even if it was like a black person and a
Yeah.
white person, there won't be a nigger moment.
Yeah,
There's the white one is just gonna just close it like,
mm,
oh, I'm sorry,
yeah, and go.
and then leave.
No,
But
no,
then
with niggas, then you have nigga mode. Niggas get hurt, niggas fight,
get shot.
they get shot, shootouts, niggas are dying. Just
But
from a nigga moment, bro.
but then sometimes when, even the situation where like they tramp on your shoe
Yeah.
and then they grab you from the back, they're like, ah, whoa, my man, why? Clean them, and now you must be there.
Nah. The thing is, that's the thing. Like with things like that, I won't do. Like I'm not gonna clean your shoe. And I'll say sorry for stepping on your shoe, sorry for for
Yeah,
scuffing your shoe.
accept it.
Apologize. I'll apologize. I'll be the bigger man and
Yeah,
apologize.
and they must accept it.
Just accept it. I'm not now gonna like basically like
Go down your
oh
knees
wow
and be there with the spot and being like, oh, I'm
hell
sorry.
no. You better do that when you get home, nigga.
But then, hey, what some of us, if they end up doing that, we must know, hey, pick up a brick or something. As soon as you come up, just turn up your hand up and here, butter, and then run.
Nah, that's great. Before we continue with the video, I'd like us to just take a shout
Okay,
out to
yeah,
our sponsor, Squad X
eggs production, yeah,
clothing brand.
and
Please check out their clothes. They've got amazing clothes,
shirts, pants,
hoodies.
hoodies.
They got everything,
Yeah, they got
and
everything.
it's quiet.
Just. Do they have shoes?
Mm,
Yeah, just not shoes, but everything that has to do clothing
yeah,
wise.
and
Yes,
the drip, bro. You can drip up.
yes,
Good quality shit, bro. Please check it out. We'll leave the link in the description, and we'll also leave a video describing how you can support them.
yes.
Like, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Like, no, I'll scrape it for you, my man. Don't stress.
Yeah. But then from like thinking that we learn that sometimes it's not always good to react to something like that with violence.
Exactly.
Because in the end, the first time we fought, Grandpa killed him in a nigga moment, bro.
Yes.
So it's like, damn, like he killed dude, and now all because of a nigga. So now people hate Robin. But then the thing, the contradicting thing is that they liked it when Robert was getting beat out. But then
Yeah.
when he beat the guy, he's like, oh, we
Just
hate
because he's
you.
older and
Yeah,
he's blind.
he's blind. But then they're both old at the end of the
Exactly.
day. It's like, it's just two old people that let their pride get the better of them and one killed the other. But then
Mm.
it created a cycle of endless violence and fighting and killing
Exactly.
because his friends came back to get revenge and then they killed that other kung fu guy.
Mm.
The security, they killed,
The security
they
guy. Yeah.
killed him, they chopped off his head, and then the third time he came back as a clone, thinking, you
Mm.
remember that episode? And then that's when they had the fight in the boxing ring, and Grandpa whooped his ass
Yeah.
again, and then they almost killed him, and they stopped him. When he said he's not gonna do this anymore, then they're like, this was fun when you were the one getting beat up, Robert. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Mm. Because how can I say? Mostly like what I was saying, that Stink Bean is a bit older, he's blind, so he has an advantage to the audience as well. Because they'll obviously be like, yeah, Robert has his eyes, he
Mm.
has his sight, and he can still move and stuff. Here's Stink Mina, he's old and he's walking with a cane too. That's why.
I get that. That is true. But then the fact that he's inciting the problems, he's starting the fight. That's the fucked up thing. It's like, I mean, I get he's blind, but then like, bro, why you gotta start shit with? I was
Exactly.
minding my own business, and then you came and you started shit, bro.
Hmm.
That's fucked, bro.
I know that's how life is, most. We think that there's good people out there,
Yeah,
but then not all the time.
it's not. And now that you mentioned good people and bad people, now let's talk about the ones in the family, like um
Oh,
81.
the Wansler
Mm.
family, yes.
Or what's the grandfather's name again? Is it
Eddie Wansler.
Eddie Wants the like that man is evil, bro. That man is very evil.
Even when he came in that episode saying that, no, my family owned this house,
Mm,
and that he was also bringing strange people to love there and whatnot. That was just rubbish, that.
mm. It's like, bro, you abusing your power.
Mm.
Mm,
Because mostly when we were talking most about the government and whatnot, people like that are also in the government too.
They're involved in that shit.
Exactly.
They're highly involved in that shit, guys. Like those guys, like they have so much power. You can't do anything to them. Like if you try and do anything, either destroy your life, have you in prison, or somehow take control of you and your life.
Exactly.
And it's fucked up. Bro. It's like
Be- because we did not we were not brought onto earth. Mostly talking about the show, we were not brought onto earth, and we were not born poor or rich. Mostly these people are only doing that just to spite us, just to be like, no, since these people can't afford to pay taxes and what, let's take their house, let's take all the property and let us leave them with foregone.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah. But that's the thing with like people, and the show also shows us that there's good people, there's bad people, and there's like totally evil people.
mm,
If we rank them, I think Huey is a good person, Riley a bad person.
good and bad, in my opinion.
The thing with Riley is that everything he does is negative.
Most, oh yeah, okay, no, now I agree. Riley on the bad side, Huey because he's a politician.
And he fights for rights, and he's
Yeah,
always worried about bettering black people in their province.
mm.
Mm.
Because, but then mostly when Huey mostly explains to people, mostly people don't like listening to smart
Yeah,
people. It's like they disclosing everything or being like, no, I don't understand what you're saying. Maybe it's not the truth, or they need evidence and whatnot. You must understand. You must have your mind open also to say, what if it is true?
and they hate on him because he tells them the truth.
Exactly.
It's like even that episode we were talking about with the when Riley was selling cookies and those mafia guys from England came. He warned him. He wanted to warn him, like, bro, like this is gonna. And then Riley stopped him and like, no, don't tell him. I don't want to know how it's gonna end. Yeah, you see, they just don't, they don't ever want to listen to him. That's also Grandpa included.
Mm.
Grandpa just doesn't want to listen to him.
Especially when it's grandpa with the girlfriends too,
Bro, when it's with women, bitches, okay, yeah, women, money,
and ideas too.
and ideas, like anything like to do with money or their lives that affects them. Grandpa does not want to hear nothing.
Even when you made the restaurant and everyone was eating and they started becoming fat and whatnot.
Instead of becoming obsessed with the food.
Me, I'm telling myself like, how the hell can people eat and they can also sleep there? And they say that there's a lot of calories making people sick and they dying. Mostly you saw when the grandfather closed the shop.
Yeah.
This other white lady came with a sweat one saying like, no, can't you just let me have a piece of
Yeah.
chicken? They they fought like it's like there was no food on earth and they were fighting for that piece of chicken, bruh.
It's soulful, bro. Like in that show, in that specific episode, they showed the dangers of soul
So
food.
good.
It's like that shit makes you fall asleep.
Bruh.
And then you want more and more because it tastes nice.
Nice.
But in reality, it's bad for your health because you then become obese. You then want that all the time.
And
You
you gaining
basically
fat.
and you basically live for it. Like if you think about it, they started living for it and wanting it like so much that they went crazy over it,
Mm.
and the economy fell because of it.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Bruh, people who make these shows, they very interesting because they telling us the truth
Mm.
about life. Because,
Mhm.
but then, but yeah, let's not go out of topic. But then with the Simpsons, bruh,
Mm.
they I don't know how did the actor predict shit that actually happened in real life. But then it's like that guy has superpowers of some kind.
I think maybe the producers were in on it also with all of that Illuminati stuff
Mm,
and the shit that goes on in Hollywood.
mm.
So they probably knew or had ideas of what was going to happen in the future. Too.
So do you think that they were trying to expose them, or they were just making the show because the people told them to,
I think it was like 50-50. Like they were trying to expose it.
and also
Yeah.
help them to?
Yeah. And also like help them because now you like also like watch it so you can find out what's going to happen next or if something's going to happen next.
Mm. Because in one of the episodes of The Simpsons, where they predicted to say a black hole is going to suck up everything. I'm telling myself, like, yo, in 2030, that's gonna actually happen. What if it does, bruh?
There's a chance. There's a high chance. The end of the world is actually closer than.
Mm, definitely.
But yeah, we'll see that when it happens. I don't want to talk to the end of the world, though.
Yeah, bruh.
That's some
Yo.
scary shit.
Mm.
Some scary shit. But let's talk about like what we learn from them, like the different characters, like the main characters. What we learn from them.
With me, Huey.
Mm.
Huey is a person who actually goes for the win. Let me say it like that.
Yeah,
But then he's actually for the people,
he's realistic.
and he's realistic. He's forward. Like I said, doesn't try sugarcoating shit or anything. He's direct and he's straight on point.
Yeah.
He's on point, and it's a good thing because at least we also try and learn to say, okay, we also about the people, but then we must also understand that some of the people they just need someone to feed them for them to bite the person who helped them.
Mm.
Exactly. So when we say that you must also have time for yourself and also be around people, it means that don't always try and say let's meet new people and always say like no they won't hurt me or anything. Sometimes just observe and see how they are,
Yeah.
because some people obviously the way they dress already says a lot.
Mm.
If they're wearing like 1,000 rand clothing and all those things, like 1,000,000 rand clothing, we know, okay, this person is mostly spoiled, like mostly they have too much pride.
Mm.
Yeah. Then they to have too much pride. If you talk to them, they have attitude too,
Yeah.
and all those things. So observe first before you try and speak to them or bring them into your life.
True.
Mm,
Because you can learn so much just from observing a person, just by
exactly.
looking at them and just listening to them speak to you.
Mm,
Like to learn about someone, you really just have to wait for the guy to open his mouth. Once
exactly.
that person opens his mouth and starts talking, that's when you learn so much about them. You can learn everything about them actually.
Mm. Being like when a person mostly talks about spiritual things, and he mostly thinks that he knows things,
Mm.
and he's like, yeah, bro, it's actually true, but then I'm not actually sure about anything, but then I mostly you can tell me if it's right or wrong. Do you
Mm.
actually agree with me, bro?
Bro, it's these hippies, bro.
Yeah, bro, and not to we're not
Yeah,
criticizing them,
mm,
but then
we're
sometimes
not hate.
they shoot, but sometimes they don't know what they're saying, or they're trying to make it sound sensible, but it's not.
Mm, true.
Yeah, and even people who mostly tell us about living a normal life, like say that they want to become doctors and they want to finish school until matric.
You don't really learn shit from those guys.
We You don't really learn shit from those people,
Yeah,
like
true.
at all, because with them they're not telling us what they want.
Mm.
They don't tell us. It's like they're locking it behind their heart, like not the actual heart. There's a fake heart
Mm.
behind.
Those people, like the school of life, is just beating the shit out of it.
Yeah,
School of life. The school of life is a real.
because mostly people who finish school, get their degrees, their matriculate certificates and whatnot. They think that okay, since now I'm done, I'm gonna get a job just like that. They also sitting like us, unemployed with certificates, diplomas, but people who do what they want,
Yeah,
like
what they
become a
love.
YouTuber and whatnot, they get paid
Mm.
immediately.
But through hard work also. They have to
Exactly.
grind.
And work hard and everything, bring up new ideas, think
Yeah,
out the
yeah,
box.
and put themselves in their work as well.
Exactly, because the school of life and just going straight is just getting you into a situation where you think like a robot,
Yeah.
and then you just suggesting things, and mostly the bigger people in that company will take it as to say you brought up an idea of how to make a remote,
Mm.
or a Tupperware container. They take you as that. But then you also maybe on the last second level, you there, and they just appear, but then they take you as a joke and whatnot.
Mm.
We You can't love like that.
Yeah, just But apart from Huey, like from Riley, what do you think is learned from Riley?
Right there, I think I've learned to say that if you're going to go into the life of being a gangster, then you must have the heart and the attitude for it, because mostly if Riley actually went to prison,
Mm.
like to say the grown up prison, he was actually going to survive there.
Yeah, because he's very hard.
Yeah, he's hard and he's strong.
Like,
Even especially for his age,
yeah, for his age, yeah.
he's strong.
He's a real G for his age, bro.
Exactly.
Because he commands respect also from the OGs and from like the big homies. You
Mm.
see, like Gangs Delicious, like what's the other guy with the?
I forgot his name, bruh.
He's also a rapper. I forgot his name,
Mm.
and he was also stupid. But
Yeah, bruh,
yeah,
whatever he spoke
yeah,
about was just rubbish.
yeah, him and just a whole lot of big guys, big OGs. They respected Riley and liked him because he was a real, like he was a real kid. Like he was
Exactly.
real. He
Yeah,
knew his
because
shit.
even the ones that if Riley was in prison, he was just gonna call them to the phone and be like, "No, protect me, people who's in jail and who you work for. Tell them to protect me and stuff. You would be fine."
Mm,
Exactly.
yeah.
But then granted, we haven't actually learned anything from him. But then just to say that being old and being retired is awesome, because you can just smoke weed all day, you can watch TV and all those things, be free.
Mm. Like for me, from granddad, man, I learned that you need to like sometimes put your pride aside.
Exactly.
Put your pride aside. Don't really worry what people are gonna say all the time. Don't live for people, and then do what's best for you at
Exactly.
every point that you can. Do what's best for yourself, bro. Like, and also make good decisions because he made some very bad decisions throughout the show, bro, which
Even
affected them.
even where he went to protest about the legalizing
Yeah,
weed,
legalizing weed, free grind.
and then when the guy came back, he found him there in the street. He's like, huh? Like Freeman. Then granddad looked and he was like, how? You out? Then he's like, yeah. I just had to pay them and they paid me out. And he's like, what you doing? And he's like, no, wait. And then the cops is already holding him. God, that is
Nah, that was a funny episode, a funny situation.
yeah, bruh.
How that whole episode went down. So from Granddad, you learn from all of his mistakes. And that's like the main characters and that you can learn from them.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys will learn something else from them or from also the other characters, support characters as well.
But then the main word that we have for the show is just that they're all stupid,
Yeah,
except for you.
except for you. We're all really dummies, bro.
Mm,
Idiots. But yeah, looking back on the show and just reflecting on it, like we can see that life isn't perfect.
mm.
Um, like the communities, people, everything, it has its flaws, and there's no need for us to hide it or try and like just live with it
Sugarcoating,
and
yeah.
sugarcoat it. Like you see that with Riley's, with Huey's fight against BT and all of these different associations and things like that, and how he's took a stand against people.
Mm,
And then from Riley, you learn that you need to be real, raw, and be loyal to the people you love and to the people that are close to you, right?
exactly.
And then from Grandpa, you learn that you need to learn from your mistakes
Mm.
and try and be a better person.
And move on from your past.
Yeah, and not be worse and making worse decisions that are gonna fuck up your life.
Exactly. Because he already fucked it up in the past.
Mm,
Now, as him being old and not having enough money,
mm.
he can make the right choices to actually keep his house and everything insane. Because even in that episode where he made Riley and them pretend like he was blind and old, and then they demolished the house
Yeah.
and they
Nah,
upgraded his car.
nah, but that was Riley. Yeah, because Riley's the one who called Exhibit. Yeah,
Exactly.
to pimp out the ride, and then he called the people and told them that Grandpa's blind.
Mm.
That
Because
was a
because
fire.
mostly from that episode, I've learned to say that when you're old with your grandchildren, Don't ever listen to them about house building and upgrading cars and
And
whatnot.
the thing is, they were gonna get a new house. They were gonna make it nice, and then all they had to do was keep pretending until it was done. But then grandpa was like, "I'm gonna teach you a lesson." Fucked up, nigga.
And then he started talking. Then Riley even told him, "Granddad, granddad."
Granddad, yeah.
And
Like,
then afterwards, he was like, "How? You not blind? You
mm,
not sick? Like what?" And then they all stopped. Even that hole in the house. Hey, I
they
felt
left
sorry.
it out.
I was like, "Yo,
Yeah, like my heart broke, but at the same time they
oh no,
deserved it.
they slept in the car."
Yeah, I
So
slept in the
I was
car.
like, yo,
Yeah.
yo,
Like I feel sorry for them, but at the same time they deserved it, low-key.
exactly. You listen to your grandchild about houses and upgrading cars.
I'm gonna go down.
Exactly.
But yeah, guys, we hope that y'all have watched the show as well. Or if you haven't, go out and watch it. You can find it on sites online, or you can watch it on what's that site again? Like the official site, uh, Adult Swim. You can watch it there because it's their show. But it's a discontinued show. Like, it ends at season 4. So yeah, from season 4, it's like you want more of it, but you can't get more. It's
Even
good.
even with Rick and Morty. Me, I want more. Since now the Rick is looking for the
Yeah,
actual Rick, I want to see more.
I think we can expect a new season next year,
Yeah.
or maybe somewhere this year.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll see how long it takes them to shoot it
Yeah,
and get
but then
finished.
at least if they make one, at least during next year, we'll be able to do reaction videos to it as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely do an episode on that as well.
Hmm.
Definitely, we'll definitely talk about Rick and Morty. There's a lot you can learn from Rick and Morty too, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, but then mostly we wish we were smart as Rick too. Actually,
yeah,
make those dimension guns and whatnot, do everything and just love how Rick loved
yeah.
because he didn't actually need money.
Live life on the edge.
Exactly.
Yeah. Enjoy life.
Yeah, he enjoyed life and he died multiple times
Yeah.
and very painful.
Yeah.
And even if I put myself in that situation to say you die so many
Yeah.
times and you come back so many times, I can't cope like that.
But yeah, guys, please watch out for all the episodes that we're going to be doing. All the episodes we're going to be dropping. You know, we're being very consistent. We're giving out all the content that we'll need, that we want to give to y'all, and that we love doing and talking about. So please support us on socials, on Instagram, and please support William when he's dancing, obviously.
Thank you.
And also just keep listening to the podcast,
The stories
the
as well.
stories as well, like everything. And just stay tuned for this wild ride, guys. But thanks, guys, for all the support. Please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe with your notification bell on, and just wait for the next episode. Right?
Yes,
Signing
man.
out from Fuego.
And from Willie. Thanks, guys.
Peace, guys.